Louisiana. We love our people, our culture, our food. We love our life. It's time to make that life better, healthier, thriving. Healthy State, started by Ochsner Health in 2020, aims to do just that. But in order to get healthy, we need you. We need all of us, because we can't do this alone. Good health means good education, good jobs, good access to food, good health care for everyone all over our state. Join us, because it takes all of us. Together, we can make a healthy state. Welcome to the Healthy State Summit. This isn't just another conference, it's a movement.
Welcome to all of you to the inaugural Healthy State Summit. Our theme for the day is Know It, Own It, Live It. Working together to create a thriving Louisiana. We will know it when we know where Louisiana stands currently. We will own it if we have the courage collectively to drive the change that is necessary, and live it, inspire our communities to work together and create that change, a healthier and thriving Louisiana for all of us. Good morning, my name is John Spain. I am a senior advisor at the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, and I also have the privilege of being the chairman of the Baton Rouge Health District. We welcome all of you. Be sure to check your programs for information on the breakout sessions that will come later in the morning. Look at the bios of your speakers and know what their backgrounds are and what the expertise is they bring to today's meeting. And then remember to take our survey to show us how we did today. So look at that, be prepared to fill it out after you've listened to our speakers today and been a part of what we know is going to be a very, very exciting day. I'd like now to introduce Ochsner Health's Matthew Block, the Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer, and Deborah Grimes, the Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer, to kick us off with an introduction of Healthy State and where Louisiana stands today. Deborah leads the workforce and employee strategy at Ochsner Health, focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. She works to reduce disparate health outcomes and improve healthcare access across our communities. Ochsner serves multiple communities throughout the state, and previously she was the first Chief Diversity Officer at UAB Health Systems and held several leadership roles in quality and compliance. Deborah was named one of the 2019 most influential women in corporate America by Savoy magazine. Matthew Block oversees Ochsner Health's government relations, community affairs, philanthropy, and corporate real estate teams. Before joining Ochsner, he served as the executive counsel to Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, playing a key role in expanding the Medicaid program in our state and navigating many state crises. A member of the Louisiana Bar since 1998, Matthew is also a U.S. Army War College graduate and a frequent legal education lecturer. We are delighted to have them here. Please welcome them with a warm round of applause, and good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, John.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. Well, what a beautiful day that we're all gathered here to have what I think is just a transformational discussion. And I'm so excited to bring you greetings and to be here with my partner, Matthew. You know, when I think about a healthy state and this tremendous initiative and this journey that we've been on for a couple of years now, I tend to think about it with the end in mind. What would a healthy Louisiana look like? Because I think when you start out any journey, when you start out any vision, when you start out any long-term initiative, you need to think about the what and the why. And what I know for sure, what a healthier Louisiana looks like is people will live longer, more prosperous lives. We will have more educated individuals. We will have more individuals that provide economic value to our state, that they will have good paying jobs. And oh, by the way, this long journey called life, they will enjoy more. So I think that it's important for us to think in terms of the outcomes first, because yes, we have lots of challenges, and we will talk about some of those. But at the end of the day, a healthier state means that we will all be better in the long run. Next slide, please. But I do think we need to think also realistically, and we need to think about, from a data-driven perspective, what is causing us not to be realizing that long-term goals that we just chatted about. And one of the major concepts that we need to understand, that what's causing us to not have a healthier state, is we have way too many premature deaths. And when you think about the very definition of a premature death, what we're really talking about is people in our state are dying way younger than people in other states. The average age of death in our country is age 75, which means that we have more individuals in Louisiana that are dying earlier than 75. And when you think about that, you know, the older I get, 75 is really the new 50. So I'm really sensitive to that age 75. That is not old, right? Because we all in this room, we think of ourselves living way into our 80s and really into our 90s. So then that intrigues me to figure out, why is that occurring? Well, there are two major disease states that you have to think about. You have to think about way too many people in Louisiana are getting cancer, and way too many people in Louisiana, they're dying of heart disease. And then you dig a little deeper after that, and you say, okay, what types of cancer? A third of all of the people dying in Louisiana of cancer, they're dying from lung disease. Then you dig a little deeper and you say, well, lung disease, why is that? Because about 50% of those people are smokers. And then you get into the details, which I love, is how do we keep people from smoking? Then you start thinking about, okay, you said heart disease. Well, I mean, heart disease, that's a big old thing. Like, you know, I suffer from hypertension. That is heart disease, right? But hypertension in itself isn't a killer. But it is a killer if you're in denial that hypertension is a thing, and that there is no cure for hypertension. That means I have to take 1 pill a day. That means I have to factor that into my budget of paying for that 1 pill a day. And then you get the point, right? We have to understand what is the data telling us to why people are dying in our state at a way too early of a rate than they should. And that's what Healthy State is all about. Next slide, please. And then I think it's also important to figure out, because I'm a nurse by background, and so typically I think that we can solve so many things if we can just get them into the doctor's office, if we can just get them into the hospital. But then when you start digging deeper though, if the ultimate goal is to have a healthy person, and you see that person indicated on the slide there, right? If the goal is we want a healthy person, then the things that a healthcare provider can control is that 20%. That's not a lot. What we have to start dealing with is that 80%. You know, 30% is dealing with health behaviors. Do you drink too much? Do you smoke? Then there's the 40%, which we call social determinants. Those are things that you wouldn't even think about in terms of coming into the hospital needing to think about, but those are the things we need to address in order to make you healthier. And you see them listed there. You know, your educational status, where you work, where you live, your financial status. Those are the types of things that as healthcare providers, we've got to get way better at assessing. Because if we're going to make Louisiana healthier, we've got to be concentrating on those things. Because the 20%, if we're only focusing on the 20% that we can control as healthcare providers, we're not going to make you healthier. And that's the discussion that we're going to have today. Next slide, please.
Well, good morning. When Deb and I were asked to do this, I thought that I got the better end of the deal here because she had to start out talking about premature death. And I got to talk about where there's hope and where there can be change. And the truth is, Deb talked about what does a healthy state look like. The truth is, this room is what a healthy state looked like, and not based upon the health of everybody in this room, but what this room represents, what today is all about, is we know what works, we know what the problem is, we know what can make a difference, and we know that there is hope and possibility for change. And the fact that we are all here today from various different organizations and stakeholders throughout the state, from our Surgeon General, who you will hear from in a little bit, to so many different participants in making a difference. This is what is going to make a difference and is what is going to change the trajectory of the state, because the truth is, and you can see it on the slide, we have dramatic needs in this state. And this slide can be somewhat misleading because it makes it seem like, well, there are parts of the state that are doing okay. The truth is, we know throughout the state, in every community, we have significant problems. But there are particular parts of the state that have significant problems. Northeast Louisiana, where our Surgeon General is from, we know has particular challenges regionally and individually in those communities, and we have to pay more attention and do more in those communities to make a difference. And if we can go to the next slide here, we can see, because we know what works, we can see we are making a difference. And we have to double down on those things that are working, and then we have to find the things that are not working and be better at. So when I first saw this data, it was surprising, but it's also hopeful and uplifting, because we are doing better. And because of many of the people in this room that are working on these very things, we're 4th in breast cancer screening, 16th in colorectal cancer screening. Unfortunately, we might need to do better in vision screening, because it's hard for me to read some of the things on this slide from this distance. So I'll let the rest of you read what's up here. But we know this can make a difference, and this gives us hope, because we know if we continue to do some of the things that we're doing that work, we are going to see a healthier Louisiana. We are going to get to the place where we all want this state to be. And it is encouraging, because we don't have to believe that, well, no matter what we do, we're always going to be the same. We're always going to be stuck in the same mud. We know that there is room for improvement. If you can go to the next slide. And this shows the things that we need to continue to work on and to double down on. Deb mentioned smoking is one of the key drivers for health, and whether it's your cardiovascular health or whether it's your lung health. We know that we have significant problems with smoking in this state that is long-standing and difficult to tackle, but we know that if the individuals in this room and the organizations we all represent continue to work on this, every smoker that stops, every smoker that quits is on the road to improvement. So those are the things that we have to do, and those are the things that we're going to talk about today, and those are the things that after today, everyone in this room is going to go in with a renewed sense of commitment and effort will take back to your communities, take back to your organizations, and continue working every day to improve. This slide is such an important slide to get back to that slide that Deb had earlier about showing what are the ways to have a healthy state. We can see all of the goals of this organization and our collective organizations together, looking at those challenges in the drivers for poor health in our state. If we can focus on those things, they can reach the results that we have here at the end. And so if we can use today as an impetus to continue to have honest, frank, and sometimes difficult discussions about the things that have been long-standing in our communities that we need to improve, and come up with new and innovative ways to improve those long-standing drivers for poor health in this state, we will get to where we need to be. Last, we just want to thank all of you for being here. It is so encouraging that all of you would take time out of your days to be here, to focus on the things that we need to improve, and to have the commitment to work for these efforts. This could not have been put together today without the incredible work of so many different people. You see the sponsors here today, which we really appreciate all of the work that you are doing, the commitment that you have, the financial support for Healthy State and for this summit. And I also want to in particular thank the Healthy State team that has put this event together. You all have done a fantastic job. The very fact that we have a sold-out room full of people on a Thursday morning who are here for this shows that we can do better, we will do better, but it would not be done without the support of the Healthy State team. So thank you all very much.
I'll finish this off.
Yeah, so I couldn't say it any better than Matthew just said it, but I know for a fact that coming together like this, there is no goal that we can't achieve. And we just have to stay the course and remember that this is doable, and it's going to take all of us working together. And I encourage you to meet new people, and as you learn this information, don't just keep it to yourself, share it with others. I thank you, and I look forward to a great day. Thanks, everybody.